Matthew and Brady Tkachuk are arguably the most noticeable sibling duo in today's NHL. One was drafted 6th overall, while the other was drafted 4th overall, and both brothers have become key contributors on the ice and leaders in the locker room. But both Matthew and Brady get these skill sets thanks to their father, Keith Tkachuk, who also played in the NHL. Keith was selected the lowest in the family at 19th overall, and his style of play was sort of similar to both of his sons. Keith was one of the NHL's most prolific power forwards in his prime. He could average 30 to 40 goals a season, all while playing a very physical and aggressive game, which led him to having more than 100 penalty minutes in 10 of his 19 seasons in the league. As a member of the newly formed Phoenix Coyotes in 1996, Keith would actually lead the entire league in scoring with 52 goals and 86 points, helping him be named to his first of his eventual 5 All-Star games, leading the Coyotes into the postseason. Speaking of leading in points, Keith's oldest son Matthew was able to do so last season with the Calgary Flames, notching 61 points in a shortened season. Matthew shares a lot of similarities with his father in terms of his overall game, but some can argue that Matthew takes it a step forward. Since arriving into the league, Matthew has been known as one of the most skilled pesks in the NHL. He knows how to get under the skin of his opponents and drives them insane. Matthew has led the Flames in penalty minutes for the last 2 seasons, one including this season, but is still an overall leader on the ice as well, as a lot of Flames fans can tell you that he is perhaps the heart and soul of the team. Matthew can still find the back of the net relatively well, as he's averaged 20 to 30 goals a season, and so has his younger brother Brady, who's become a cornerstone of his rebuilding franchise in Ottawa. In just his 3rd year in the league, Brady has been able to impress fans everywhere thanks to his grittiness and skill. In his rookie year, he was already putting himself in Senators record books, tying Alexander Daig for the most goals scored by a teenage player in franchise history, and becoming the 2nd highest amongst NHL rookies in goals with 22. Although his career is just getting started, Brady's already been named to an All-Star game and has been a consistent 20-goal, 40-point producer for the Senators. Both him and his brother's careers are looking extremely great, but as of now, it looks like their old man has them beat. A while ago, we took the best sibling duos and compared them to one another, and just like we did with the Tkachuk family, this time around we'll be comparing NHL stars past or present to their fathers. William Nylander has become one of the Leafs' brightest stars throughout the past several seasons and has been absolutely electric so far this season, producing 20 points in 26 games at the time of recording. William is one of the best Swedish players in the game today, just like his father, who is regarded as one of the best Swedish players of all time. Similar to his father, William's an elite skater and is extremely fast with the puck. His acceleration is absolutely astonishing to watch live, and he's a dangerous force due to his laser of a shot. Once arriving into the NHL, Michael would almost immediately become a consistent 30 to 40 point producer with the Whalers, but what's fascinating about Michael was that he actually got better with age. He would produce back-to-back 60-point seasons at the age of 28 and 29, but would explode for a 79-point season at 33, and then a career-high 83 points at the age of 34 with the Rangers. If this is what's coming for William, then the league's in trouble, as in just 2 full seasons in the league, he would produce back-to-back 61-point seasons. Also, there's a 3rd Nylander too, as Alex is the youngest of the family, but unfortunately is also the least impressive of the bunch as well, as Alex hasn't impressed many throughout his time in the league. Alex struggled to find a spot on the Sabres roster, only playing in 19 games with the team in 3 seasons before being traded to Chicago in 2019. There, he would produce 26 points in 65 games and looked like a solid depth player for the Hawks. This season, however, he's been out with an injury and is yet to play in a game. As of right now, it's safe to say their dad has a bit of an edge in terms of overall success, but in a few years, at the rate he's going, William may actually take the cake. Next up, we have Max and Ty Domi, and these two may have the biggest differences within their games than any other father-son duo in today's video. Ty was a relentless, cheap, pesky player who tried his absolute hardest to get under your skin, while Max is currently more focused on speed, finesse, and setting his teammates up offensively. Ty Domi is one of the funniest dudes to look back on, as he is highly regarded as one of the dirtiest players of his era. Ty was always involved in some altercation, whether it be on the ice, in the penalty box, or even with the fans, as this dude once fought a fan of the opposing team inside the penalty box.
Kevin Collins trying to get the fan off of Ty Domi.
Ty, besides being a bruiser, however, was still a solid player. Sure, he never produced much on the score sheet, but his on-ice presence was much needed, as Ty often played the role of protector and made sure no one got in the way. His son Max, however, is completely different. Ty only notched 245 career points in over 1,000 games, and Max already has 258 points, playing in 600 less games than his father. Max is an elite playmaker and is great at setting up his teammates. He also has a great shot that has allowed him to become an average 16 to 20 goal scorer. Max is extremely versatile and can move up and down the lineup. He would explode in the 18-19 season in Montreal, producing 72 points in 82 games, showing just how elite his hockey IQ can really be, as he would set career highs in goals and assists, becoming one of the best players on the Canadiens. After being shipped off to Columbus this season in 25 games, Max has actually taken an extreme dip in totals with just 7 points and has sort of been invisible on the ice. As of now, Max may be the better Domi on the score sheet, but Ty's long-lasting legacy and career is what makes him more memorable. The Golden Jet and his son both were extremely dominant during their respective eras and may just be one of the best father-son tandems in sports history. We all know Brett Hull. His powerful slapper and killer shot stunned the opposition on a nightly basis, helping Brett become one of the league's most premier goal scorers at the time and of all time. Brett finished his illustrious career scoring 741 goals, placing himself 4th all-time in scoring, only behind Yager, Super Mario, and the Great One. Brett's defensive game sometimes lacked, but he made up for it with his offensive prowess and immense talent. He would also be named to 8 All-Star games and would take home numerous awards on a consistent basis, just like his father Bobby, who was basically the owner of the Art Ross trophy back in his day. Bobby possessed the hammer of a shot his son had, all while being quicker and more agile than Brett along the way. The way he was able to skate and stride completely shocked the fans, which eventually landed his nickname, the Golden Jet. Bobby had most of his success early on. He would finish second in the Calder race and would win his only Stanley Cup in the 1960 season with the Chicago Blackhawks in just his 4th year in the league. Brett, on the other hand, had to wait a while to lift Lord Stanley's Cup, in controversial fashion no less, as in 1999, a 35-year-old Brett Hull would play a key role in the Dallas Stars Stanley Cup win against the Buffalo Sabres, actually scoring the cup-clinching goal. Both Brett and Bobby had outstanding Hall of Fame careers, but even though Brett has finished his career with the most points, in terms of overall game, I think I give a slight edge to Bobby on this one. The whole family may be one of the best to ever do it, but there's one more who may have them beat. As a man they called Mr. Hockey and his 2 sons are perhaps the most iconic family to ever lace up the skates. The Howe family was highly skilled, in large part to the father, Gordie, who was one of the best NHLers of all time. Gordie redefined what it meant to be a forward. He combined his elite scoring touch with physicality and durability, creating the ultimate form of a hockey player, helping him dominate the opposition any chance he had. Gordie is the only player to have played in 5 different decades, starting in the 1940s and playing up until the 1980s. This longevity allowed Gordie to not only continue to showcase his skills, but at one point, it allowed him to play hockey with both of his sons. When Gordie went to the WHA in the 1970s, his 2 sons, Marty and Mark, would join him. Unlike their fathers, both sons played defense, but one stood out more so than the other. Sadly, Marty's career isn't as remembered, as he was probably the least productive and efficient member of the family. That speaks volumes considering he was still able to play in almost 200 NHL games, but he had trouble staying in the NHL, unlike his brother Mark, who, like his father Gordie, was also inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Mark ended up becoming one of the best two-way defenders in the game at the time. He would finish second place 5 times for the Norris Trophy, and his impact on the Whalers and Flyers was huge. Howe would help Philadelphia make a Stanley Cup final appearance in 1984, eventually coming short to the up-and-coming Edmonton dynasty. Mark, despite his defensive success, still gained some offensive touch thanks to his dad, as Mark was a consistent 50 to 60 point producer, even reaching the 80 point plateau twice in his career. Even though Mark and Marty made the NHL and Mark became a Hall of Famer, there's no question that their father is hands down the best in the family. When you can play 5 decades in the NHL, cementing yourself himself as one of the best players to ever do it, all while tallying elite numbers along the way, there's no question that Gordy is the best of the bunch. There's still so many NHL father-son duos that we didn't even talk about that have still impacted the league in more ways than one. It's extremely rare for one family member to make the NHL, let alone 2 or 3, but all it takes is talent, skill, and a little bit of genetic help to help the next father-son duo excel to great heights. If you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thanks, but I also have a pretty cool announcement to make as well. We've released an official I Don't Give Kachuk merch store where you can buy shirts, hoodies, face masks, and even stickers with the channel's logo on it to represent the channel wherever you may please. They come in a variety of sizes and colors, and we even have youth sizes as well to fit anyone who may be interested. This is 100% optional, and any given support is very appreciated, but if this is something that may interest you, then I recommend checking the store out for yourself. The link will be listed in the description down below, or you can manually visit at www.teespring.com/stores/IDGT store. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.